Trains, they've been the backbone of Britain for nearly 200 years. First Great Western runs the most complex fleet in the UK.
It's every little boy's dream to become a train driver.
Operating on an iconic network.
It's an electrifying environment for me. There's always a buzz.
Every day, an army of drivers, engineers and workers keep this train set on track. Coming up, pressure builds as the high days and holidays begin. Festival goers reach fever pitch.
Glastonbury! I don't think I've ever seen a customer have to be carried off in quite such a dramatic way.
There's a dirty job at the depot.
It's pumping out shit. When you take a pipe off, that's when the smell comes out. Not a good job.
If you've got tickets, come forward, please.
And staff gear up for a VIP passenger.
You know, as a queen, I'm going to be able to reach out and touch her. You know, not that I'm going to do that.
The Great Western Network was once known as the Holiday Line, carrying passengers to beach resorts across Devon and Cornwall. Paddington Station is the capital's gateway to the southwest. Each summer, staff prepare for waves of fun seekers, making their way to some of the biggest events of the season. And there's one man who's in charge.
Afternoon.
Adrian has become the go-to guy when it comes to big events, and today he's preparing for the biggest of them all.
Glastonbury is my baby, which I'm responsible for each year. It's something I enjoy doing.
Europe's largest music event hosts 180,000 merrymakers from far and wide for a weekend of song and dance. And 8,000 will begin their journey at Paddington. 50 additional services are being laid on, and nearly 100 extra staff will be in charge of getting them there.
OK, good morning, everybody. I have floor walkers whose role on the station concourse is to mop up all these customers that are travelling. Let's be honest, they do stand out. OK, let's get these customers over to platform 8. Let's do it.
To ensure the fun lovers are funnelled away from the regular commuters, Adrian has sectioned off platform 8, solely to dispatch the festival trains. But there's a hitch.
Got the holding area here. We're about 30 feet short. What it is the queues normally come down to here. Yeah. Now, the silver ones weren't put out. It's not ideal. Should have been done overnight. No comment. Yeah, we need to move the whole thing down, yeah? There's going to be a lot of running around.
If Adrian and his team don't get the barriers in place before the passengers arrive...
Oh, all the way down.
His strategy won't work.
That's not supposed to happen.
And what's more, the first Glastonbury passengers have arrived.
Wait there, wait there, wait there, wait there, wait there.
I can see. We just need a couple of minutes, all right?
Listen, where's your muscles? You need that? Ah, lovely.
With the barriers in place in the nick of time, the team can now let the passengers enter the platforms.
The train is due in at...
100 miles away, at the other end of the Glastonbury route, there's a very different atmosphere.
So, this is the centre of the universe.
Normally, station manager Paul sees just 70 passengers trickling through the Somerset station of Castle Cary.
You have to change at Bath and at Westbury. I'm one of 3 members of staff that work here at Castle Cary station. So we're a jack of all trades, serving tickets 1 minute, the next minute you can be trying to unblock the gents' toilet. Cheerio, Martin. Bye.
But it's the station closest to the Glastonbury Festival site, and the tranquility is about to be interrupted. A 30-strong team of volunteer staff from across the network have arrived to temporarily transform Castle Cary into a station capable of hosting thousands of festival goers.
So this sleepy place suddenly becomes a hive of activity.
In charge of this major makeover is Steve McQuoid.
The barriers have arrived now. It's basically to crowd control, to get them from the trains to the buses and vice versa at the end. The two cabins that have just arrived, the cabin that is put on the top will be the nerve centre of the whole operation, really.
See up there, we have a camera there linked to the site up at Glastonbury, and Mike Weavis and his crew, whatever, they can see how many buses is needed down here.
It's critical that the company do everything they can to stop fun seekers from taking any sneaky shortcuts and free fast tracks to the festival.
Used to get people coming down early, and as we put a fence up, they wouldn't have a ticket, so they used to jump the fence and run over the hedge down the road there, try and get away.
Castle Cary has fully armed itself to cope with a tsunami of revellers.
What sorts of people we're going to see next few days?
The weird, the wonderful and the normal.
Down the line at Paddington, the festival goers are descending.
Yeah, Bravo 1, Monksy, they're on the move now, all on the move.
And it's Adrian's job to corral them onto the correct platform.
The train's due into the station in the next 7 or 8 minutes, so if you start getting yourself ready and move forward, please, yeah? Thank you.
If the team slip behind schedule, thousands of festival goers may lose their sense of humour. Though, at the moment, everyone seems relaxed.
This is the only event where people will sit down on the floor before they board the train. Football, rugby, they all stand up. Have fun.
Thank you.
A lot of people. We're going to send over 78 to Coach E now, yeah? Coach E, please. Is he going to be down there?
As if marshalling such huge numbers of people wasn't enough, there's also all their stuff to contend with.
As you can see here, everybody's bringing suitcases in their grandma's shopping trolley. We have the overheads, we have the luggage racks, but they fill up pretty quickly, so we're trying to find as many parts of the train that we can put it on as possible. How many cages are there? Where's the others? On Monday, I request 6 cages, yeah? How many have we got? 2.
Without the extra luggage cages to help them, the festival goers pull, push and load their luggage onto the train themselves.
Use the overhead racks and the space between the seats for your luggage.
But even though the train is already crammed to the rafters, some people want to push their luck.
You have to unload them and put them in lost property.
Can you unload them first then?
Yep.
Thank you.
It's not the normal thing you expect on a train, especially when it's full of beer.
This first train is full, and they can finally get on their way.
8 minutes in and out, get out.
That was pretty incredible. Like a well-oiled machine. Please take note, yeah?
That's how we roll.
Coming up, things get hairy at Castle Cary.
Customer that just came off that train went down onto the track. All lines are blocked, so there's no possibility of any train coming through.
In Somerset, a normally peaceful part of the network is being bombarded. Just 8 miles from Castle Cary Station, one of Britain's biggest festivals, Glastonbury, is getting underway. Station manager Paul Mitchell has battened down the hatches in preparation for the arrival of up to 15,000 rowdy revellers en route from Paddington.
Sleepy country station changed into a busy Clapham Junction.
The first train is full. There's no time to test whether Paul's system will take the strain.
This is a train that's just coming down from London now, arrives here normally about 2:15, and it's usually quite a quiet train, but we've heard that it's absolutely heaving. You brought a few down?
1 or 2.
Normally we'd have perhaps a dozen people off this train. A few more today. And they're not our usual commuters either.
To keep pace with the steady stream being sent down from Paddington, Paul and the crew now need to ferry the festival goers from the train to platform to coach. Volunteer Matt has plenty of merrymakers to contend with.
Hi guys, can you please make sure you're moving as far forward as possible? Get as close to the person in front of you as you dare.
Glastonbury!
Someone started early.
I'll keep an eye on the ones that try and slip past, all right, Joe? I know.
A specially drafted-in revenue protection team are making sure that a few rogue ticketless travellers aren't slipping through the net.
Well, unfortunately, your tickets aren't valid today. All right. Now what?
Emails?
Yeah, because that's the 26th.
Well, we thought we had the tickets booked for today, but I obviously booked them for yesterday, so I had to spend another 180 quid, but it's fine.
Maybe a glass of wine when you book the tickets.
Exactly.
But,
you shouldn't book tickets
it's
at
the wrong
midnight.
And for some, it's all too much.
So you haven't got a valid ticket with you, no?
No, I haven't got a ticket. No, I had the ticket on the train, but I didn't realise I was supposed to bring it off the train until when the people up there said, "Have you got your ticket?" And I ran back and the train moved.
Well, the train just pulled in. That's the only train that's been in for the last hour and a half.
It wasn't the train that I came on. It was another.
Whatever the reason for not having a correct ticket, situations like these must be addressed quickly, as it's critical to keep things moving. But there are some situations that bring everything to a standstill.
Not absolutely certain, but it seems that the customer that just came off that train, for some reason, went down onto the track.
This man's action means that Castle Cary is now on lockdown.
They're just a bit concerned that this guy is obviously quite agitated, and there's a possibility that he might try and run and break free from them and get back down onto the track. So at the moment, all lines are blocked. So that means that the signals are red on all of the tracks, so there's no possibility of any train coming through.
It takes 6 police officers to get the situation under control.
They've checked with the signaller that the lines are still blocked, that there's no chance of any train coming. And they're just going to take him over the what we call the barrow crossing across the tracks at the end. So I've been doing this 12 years. Don't think I've ever seen a customer have to be carried off in quite such a dramatic way.
With the track now cleared, the relentless flow of passengers continues.
Talking at least probably about 500 people at the moment in this queue, and with another train load coming in, that's another 500. So, as I say, it's going to get cosy here. Right then, guys, can you please make sure that you bunch up as closely as possible to the person in front of you? Don't mind the smell, that's just Glastonbury fresh.
Fortunately, with beers, bands and good times within sniffing distance, the Glastonbury goers are in good spirits.
It's my second time.
My first time.
My first time.
And it's about my 7th time.
So she's the festival queen.
My journey on the train was a lot better than anticipated. There was no stress. It was all quite organised. I'm a bit confused about that, actually. I was expecting a bit of panic. So, thumbs up.
OK, guys, can you exit up over the footbridge, please? Buses are awaiting you at the other side.
The annual Glastonbury getaway is the most intense time of year for the normally peaceful Paul. As the thousands of revellers stream off in the direction of Worthy Farm, life at Castle Cary can finally return to normal, for the moment at least.
The whole process is a bit like a whirlwind. You sort of get the aggressive part of the whirlwind, and then there's a calm in the middle, and then you get the aggressive part as the whirlwind goes past, and that's the bit we'll now be looking forward to. So certainly on Monday this place will be rammed.
It's not just events such as Glastonbury that leave the network with a bit of sorting out to do. With upwards of 100,000 people travelling in peak time alone, it's no surprise that sometimes things get forgotten on trains. A fact that leaves train operators facing an ever-growing mountain of lost property.
Lost property Bristol.
One man who's committed to sorting out the sundries is Ross Adlam.
Probably paid about €2 for them. They'd have to pay £2 to get them back.
Bristol's location, at the heart of the network, makes it the ideal place to process lost property from across the country. For this king of the lost and found, there's rarely time to waste to see processors the left-behinds.
Lost property Bristol. You got lots of you. Below me. Right, that was Plymouth. They're going to be sending up 2 crates this afternoon on the 12 o'clock Paddington, and a pushchair and 3 bags. So, yeah, joys.
And there's no busier day than Monday.
No, it's just coming in now. Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays is when most people go out and have a drink and lose a lot of stuff.
Ross meets 3 trains a day, all loaded with the lost property items from the depths of the southwest.
3 crates, a Zimmer frame, some crutches, 2 bags, and a pushchair. It looks like it's going to be a very busy afternoon.
Once unloaded, every piece of lost property must be unpacked and thoroughly examined.
This is everything that's got lost on the weekend from Exeter St David's. They send you up a script of everything that should be in the box, so we know if anything's gone missing. A pair of jeans, I don't know what they were wearing before that. Yeah, look. Skidders. I've always had a strong stomach, sometimes I don't even wash my hands after, no, I'm joking. Oh, there it is.
Ross's extensive filing system offers the best chance of reuniting each piece of lost property with its owner.
That the one? Yeah, there you go. All right, no charge because I haven't booked it in yet. I'm your knight in shining armour now, look.
Exactly. There was £5 in there, so let's see how much is left.
I bet there ain't now.
Items are stored at Temple Meads for a maximum of 3 months, adding to Ross's already impressive 4,500-piece collection.
My top things that I found in lost property is gimp masks, vibrators, blow-up dolls as well. Hello! Which, I'm open-minded, I don't mind.
Working in lost property isn't all fun and games.
I mean, you'll get some people, they just come in and go, you've got my bag, and I say, but have you got a reference number? And they say, no. I say, well, we've got 4,500 items at the back, and they're like, yeah, but you've got my bag, just go and find it.
A couple of weeks ago, I lost a file.
Right.
About that size by that size by that size clear box file.
Have you got a date at all?
No, I haven't.
It's not your fault, you're not the one that's lost their luggage. But it's like they're blaming you because they've lost it. You do get Sundays where you just think, oh, go away.
All right. Yeah. Did you have a grey hoodie recovered by one of your guys yesterday about 2:30? I shouted out, I left it on the bike rack.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, we have, yeah. So there is a £3 lost property charge on that one.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, well, yeah.
There has to be fees and everything put in place, so, you know, it goes from £2 up to £20, or depends on what sort of the item is. We got to secure it here, as in a secured place in here, and people have to pay that to pay our wages. That one? Yeah. Don't forget your drink. Cheers, mate.
But Ross isn't averse to a bit of charitable giving, especially for items that are unclaimed after 3 months.
I left my walking stick in London.
Right.
And it occurred to me that you might have walking sticks lying about that you've had for some time and you'd be prepared to sell me one.
Oh, right. I'll have a look at the back, see if we got any. Will that do?
What inconsiderable amount of money would you like me to give you for that?
Nothing.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Good on you.
All right, no worries. Cheers, Ed.
A trip to Bristol's Lost Property Office, the perfect start to anyone's holiday.
I can always tell a foreign accent. Yeah, another happy customer. He's gone away happy. At least he can get around a bit now. It shows a bit of hospitality. Not all of us English are selfish.
Ross's distinguished career has seen him work every job imaginable, from cleaning toilets to dispatching trains. But reuniting passengers with their possessions is his true calling.
One purse. All right, cheers, bye. You see different people, help different people. You come into work and every day is different. I think the railway is in my blood now, after all this time. Not that I like to admit it. Good night, Frank. See you tomorrow.
Coming up, haute cuisine at high speed.
You've literally got an hour and a half from London to Taunton. You've got to have a certain amount of time and you've got to get it spot on. Go!
Sorry.
And there are some dirty jobs at the depot.
It's pumping out shit. I always think it's a good idea to stand away from the pipe that's going to come off one night. Not a good job.
The holiday season is underway and passengers are heading west in search of some seasonal good life. And for some, that begins on board. It's 6 p.m. at London's Paddington station and the staff of the Pullman Silver Service dining car are about to begin their shift.
We've got 10 reservations so far, so we know we're going to have a reasonable service, but we don't know how busy it's going to be.
On-board Silver Service used to be the standard in Britain. This Pullman car is the last remaining Silver Service dining car in the country. Twice a day, special crews board intercity 125s between Paddington and Plymouth to serve breakfast, lunch and dinner at your table at high speed. Each team must load everything they need for service: crockery, cutlery, linen, fresh ingredients and even the fridge. Tonight's team headed up by Chef Paul Tregillis.
You literally have to get on the train, set up and start service all within 25-30 minutes.
It always just feels like, are you going to get it done? Of course, we always do, but every night it's that same rush and just trying to get it all together.
This is just the worst part about it. It's just the rushing to get everything laid up before the passengers start boarding.
Well, menus are down, so it's pretty much all done. So all the rushing and stressing is over for the minute.
Yeah, can open the shop slightly. We're about to board.
Got reservation?
Green for one.
Green for one, that's it.
Originally, the crew had only 10 bookings, but it's now looking like they may have a full house.
Do you know you have a reservation, sir? No, I don't. That's fine.
And a full house means Chef Paul could be asked to produce any number of tasty meals from tonight's varied menu.
We have on the menu this evening scallops, smoked salmon. On the main courses we have steak, chicken with a tarragon sauce, a vegetarian Moroccan filo pie and garnered.
It's 7:03 and the train heads off out of Paddington.
They're moving. We've got our orders in. Chef's got the kitchen that's working.
A full dining car can mean preparing up to 100 separate plates of food, all in a kitchen that's 4 foot by 12.
You've literally got an hour and a half from London to Taunton for our first customers getting off. So basically you need to get the full service done in that hour and a half.
It is basically quite 5 minutes or so for us. Not for Chef, of course, who is going like the clappers behind there and trying not to get a sweat on.
20 minutes later and Paul has the starters ready.
Go! You've got to have a certain amount of time, and if you haven't got your timing right, then one little thing will overcook or it'll be undercooked, so you've got to get it spot on. Nearly there now.
Now it's plated up, it's up to the service team not to drop it.
It's the most important part of the service. You need to be efficient, but also do it quickly. You don't want things going cold if you're standing out there too long with a tray of veg. You want to come back in 10 minutes time and say, oh, that was really smooth. And 9 times out of 10 that happens.
After a while, it's easier to do it when you're moving.
4 rare.
4 rare and a blue, thank you. It's easier to do it when you're moving than if we were at a standstill. A rare steak for you, sir?
Yes, please. please.
Thank you.
Why is his bigger than mine?
I knew you were going to say that. If
That's
you would
not
like
fair.
to swap plates, you may.
Thank you.
But even the most experienced have the odd mishap.
Yeah, something did hit the floor. That was, I lost my balance, thank you for noticing, and some of the rocket, thank goodness, was only the rocket garnish, went down one of the gentleman's blazer. But he's a regular bar, so I got away with that one.
Great food, but it always is on this service.
But it's the team that serve it as well. They're absolutely brilliant.
With dinner served, the Intercity 125 is now hurtling at high speed towards its first stop of the night.
We're going to check to see who's leaving us at Taunton, because obviously, yeah, we have to consider the people who are getting off the train. They need coffees, they need sweets, so we can run around and do that.
And when it comes to tonight's last course, seasoned pro Paul's one step ahead.
I've preempted 6 cheese ready to go so that when the orders come in, they can go straight out.
The heat's got to him, he's all red and blotchy.
So what, you spend in the kitchen more time?
We're all really rotten to each other, but we love each other though. Dearly.
Go!
Go, I'm going.
Go!
I'm going. Yeah?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Absolutely. Very good. Yep.
It goes really well together, doesn't it?
Perfect combination.
A lot of customers have a week in, week out. You know, we've known them a long time and they become friends.
It's 9 p.m. and there's now just over an hour left before the train reaches its final destination of Plymouth.
Now it's just time to clear down, fill everybody outside of the restaurant and get my orders ready for tomorrow now. Time to stand back and breathe a little bit.
But for the rest of Paul's team, the hard work's not over yet.
On busy nights, it's absolutely, the amount of washing up is never ending. We can be coming into Plymouth, 5 minutes away from Plymouth, and we are still washing up.
Oh, are you still moaning?
Is Karen still
don't
moaning?
she ever stop?
As the train pulls into Plymouth, the last of the contented diners disembark. And for Paul and his team, it's another successful silver service under their belts.
It is a nice feeling when all the customers are thanking you and the service has gone well. It makes all that pressure of the service worthwhile, in my opinion.
As night falls across the network, trains continue to arrive at their final destinations. For the thousands of weary passengers, it's the end of the day, but thousands of passengers can mean only one thing: mess. Tasked with the thankless job of getting rid of it all is the crack squad of specialist night cleaners at the Lara depot in Plymouth.
Passengers are just not interested in what goes on behind the scenes. All they're interested in is having a good, clean train.
They just go home and they forget all about it. They don't care, like, you know.
An average night sees around 13 trains of all kinds filing into the depot for a good scrub down. And tonight, team leader Andy Ralphs is the man in charge of operations.
This is first train at night. We've got about 20 minutes on this one. And they're just queuing up then, the trains to come in.
It's midnight, and with 13 trains due back in service for the morning rush hour, it's crucial Andy's team stay on schedule. Cleaner Paul Blake tackles his first task of the night on his hands and knees.
What I'm doing, I'm looking for big bits of rubbish off the floor, so I can pick it off the floor, so Dave can come behind and then vac the floor behind me, like, you know. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Friday, Saturday nights are the worst nights. They're normally the heaviest nights to be working for rubbish, and I suppose a lot of people do a lot of travelling over the weekend, don't they? We're coming into the diner area now, and sometimes this is a heavy area with all the rubbish left from the dining crew as well.
And if there's a deadline to meet, there's no one better to have on your team than Dave, who is speedy in more ways than one.
Normally if the weather's rough, isn't it? If it's a rough night and the weather's, if it's raining and that, they come back to the outside, don't they?
Dave, you'll have an hard job to understand because he talks so bloody fast.
Jim, the bad girl, come up with me. I'll come towards you, I'll go like that and sort that. I'll sort that from towards you.
But I can understand him because I've worked with him for so many years.
There's a train number, about the train number, I think. Train number 7.
All right, David, units ready to come back.
12:20, and that's the first train done on time. But there could be dirtier jobs in store, and there's nowhere you're more likely to find them than the onboard loos.
Vomit's the usual thing, you know, and a lot of it. And it's not usually in toilets, usually everywhere but the toilet. Walls, you know, ceilings sometimes, so yeah, not very nice.
But the grimmest task of all is unavoidable and strikes fear in the entire overnight cleaning team.
The worst job of the evening up here is the pumping out the waste out of the toilets. And it's not everyone's favourite job up here, let's put it that way.
And the boys have devised a unique way of dishing out their cleaning duties.
We've got a bag here, we do a nightly draw, 1 to 6, 2, 3 and 4 is picking up, 5 and 6 is vacuuming, and number 1 is the pumping out shit.
It used to be done with cords, and some people used to bend the corners so they knew what number they were picking. So then we decided we get tags, put it in a bag, shake them up, potluck what you get.
You know who's got the toilets at the end of the night.
That'll be the last train in.
I've got the bathroom there. Well, it's a bit of a lottery, you know. You could go a week not getting it, and then you could be unfortunate and get it 3 nights on the trot. I always think it's a good idea to stand away from the pipe when you're actually going to turn it on in case some accident's going to come off one night. Not a good job.
The toilet pump Paul's using extracts the effluent from the train into a holding tank.
When I finish pumping here, I'll have to pump through clean water so it goes through the system, like, you know, and then refill the tanks and put some bleach tablets in. This seems to take the longest because you're doing a lot. But then the guys, if they finish earlier, they'll jump out and give you a hand outside, which is pretty good. Like, you know, it helps everyone finishes at the same time then. With a job like this, you need a lot of teamwork, like, you know. Trying to not spill it anywhere. That's 1 down and 3 to go now.
All that's left now is a good scrub down of the windows.
It's just been a hot day and the flies have been sticking to it.
And that's all the waste offloaded, and 13 sparkling clean trains ready to return to service in the morning.
Right, David, ready to come back. I think a cup of tea's in order now, I think.
Still to come, the party's over at Castle Cary.
Thank you, Glastonbury.
And will the royal visit stay on track?
I'm going to be sort of all but able to reach out and touch her. Not that I'm going to do that.
Since the heady days of Isambard Kingdom Brunel, connecting remote communities to the wider world has been a major part of the Great Western Mission. Completed in 1877, the St Ives Bay branch line in Cornwall was the last broad-gauge passenger railway to be constructed in the country. This 4¼ mile stretch of track services just 4 stations from the main line at St Earth to the much-loved tourist destination of St Ives. St Ives spends almost 6 months swamped in tourists, and there's one man who greets them all.
If you've got tickets, come forward, please. That's fine, thank you.
The summer is extremely busy. You're on your toes all the time, keeping people away from the edge of the platforms, people's inquiries. They expect you to know where every guest house, hotel and every road in, you know what I mean? It's like, I should be called Tom Tom, really.
You've missed this one anyway. Sorry, I'm afraid.
Derrick's dedication to this beautiful branch line has earned him a glowing reputation with the local passengers, and his trademark smiles are a welcome he's happy to extend to regulars and tourists alike.
Great, thank you very much. Lovely job, thank you. Yes. I think if you have a bit of banter with people, When they come in, it just eases that sort of little bit of like the travelling pressure, you know.
Lovely, Derek.
Hey, you're all right.
As well,
Hey, you're all right, sweetheart.
Dealing with sun-baked sightseers is all in a day's work for Derek.
I deal with every station on the route. This job does get stressful and it can be long hours, but looking out to St Ives Bay is probably one of the best views that you're going to get.
Just having a quick break a minute in between trains. I let one go cold already today. Not going to let another one go.
We've got a really important occasion up and coming, which is a royal visit from the Queen and the Duke. It's special because it's the first time I believe that the royals have ever travelled to St Ives on the train. You know, it's the Queen, the Duke, all the royal entourage come in as well with them. It's fantastic. I'm going to be sort of all but able to reach out and touch her. Not that I'm going to do that, but yeah, it'd be nice to, once in a lifetime for me, I think.
Obviously, the 1018 that's leaving here with the Queen on, yes. Is that going to depart right time from St Ives?
We're aiming for it to depart right time.
Right. Her Majesty's historic visit has the whole station buzzing with excitement. And alongside his boss, Sarah Rogers, Derek's small but dedicated team are all keen to make a good impression.
Very smart today, fellas. I must admit, I didn't think I'd ever see you in a suit like that.
Squashing a bit. Oh, any excuse.
But however smart the team might scrub up, there's one thing Derek won't be able to hide from Her Majesty.
My tattoo on my head. I lost a bet, unfortunately, when I had a full head of hair. And I've obviously gone and lost my hair over the years. But I thought it was a bit inappropriate for the Queen, you see. So I tried to cover it up with a bit of foundation, but I just couldn't get the right tone.
With just a couple of hours to go before the Royals make their inaugural trip down the St Ives branch line, the stations undergo one last security sweep.
Did any of you wanted to check anything?
Yes, yes. This chap here was going to go check.
Okay, no worries.
And they'll leave no stone unturned in their mission to protect Her Majesty.
They actually open everything up and check everything, obviously for explosives and devices and stuff, and then they seal it up with the rubber tags.
The royal family have a rail tradition that dates back to the steam age, which sees the Queen still regularly travel on her own private train. Today, though, she'll make the last leg of her journey on a standard passenger service. Her first time on a Great Western train.
She's taken that opportunity to sort of like interact with the public allowed to travel on the train with her, show the people of the country that she's human as well.
It's the Queen's first visit to St Ives, but for the branch line staff, it's been well worth waiting for.
Fantastic.
What an atmosphere.
Yeah, brilliant. The Duke actually shook my hand and he turned around and he said, "You obviously work here?" And I went, "Yes." He said, "By the look of you, you have some nice weather here." Obviously, my tan.
As the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh head off to enjoy the delights of this beautiful part of Cornwall, Derek and the team can clock off.
And relax.
"170 miles away, it's a very different scene. The high days of Glastonbury are over, and it's time for the flagging festival goers to make their weary way back to Castle Cary station.
Most of the customers that are turning up this morning look as if they haven't slept very much. Some of them are smiling, but they just want to get home. As soon as they're on the train, after about 5 minutes, most of them will be fast asleep. So I don't think they'll be giving us any trouble.
Glastonbury is a unique event on the network's calendar. Thousands of passengers travel to the festival by train, and when it's all over, they all want to leave at the same time. But it's a quiet exodus.
This is the second train going round to Bristol Temple Meads, clearing the rest of the queue that had built up. Usually our first train on Monday would be at 6:40, so these are special trains that we wouldn't normally have. Each of them able to take about 600 people.
Thank you, Glastonbury.
She's dropped her welly down here, but she wasn't worried. She said she won't need it.
And on the early morning platforms, there's a curious convergence of crowds.
The rather surreal experience for those regular commuters, suddenly finding their carriage filled with festival-goer homes.
The music industry's biggest names may be the lure for the festival goers, but it's the sound of happy punters on their way home that's music to the ears of the Castle Cary team.
They've been pretty good, well-humoured. It all depends on the weather. If they've had a lot of rain and coming back, and that, it tends sometimes to be miserable. And, well, you can't blame them really, but they've had a lot of sun, they've had a good time, and they're in good spirits. They just want to get on home, and that's it.
19 additional services are scheduled to take the extra 11,000 passengers back home. And as the last train leaves Castle Cary, Paul finally has his station back to himself.
When the festival is all over and everybody's gone home, there's relief that the mayhem has passed and we get back to a sense of normality and tranquility. And it means that I can go back to looking after the flowers in the flower bed.
Coming up on the railway, there's drama as we ride shotgun in the cab of a high-speed train to Swansea.
The little one froze in front of me. He was terrified. I did think I had basically killed him.
We join the hoi polloi at the Henley Regatta.
Breathe in. Woo.
Revenue protection officers are out in force.
This way, please. Have your tickets ready.
We've got a young person's rail card. Language. Start thinking quickly, young sir. I'm staying with my target.
Oh, yeah!
And things are grim on the graveyard shift at Paddington.
I'm going to have to sit here till the morning. That is absolutely bonkers.